Now, so far we know how to disconnect any device from any networks around us. We also learned how to disconnect multiple devices from networks as long as these devices and these networks are within our Wi-Fi range. The last thing that I want to show you is how to disconnect all devices from a specific network. And I also want to cover an issue that you might face when you do these deauthentication attacks. So first of all, I'm just going to run aircrack-ng against all the networks around me. So just aircrack-ng mon0. And right here we can see the networks around me, and then I can pick any one that I want to target. So I'm going to Control-C out of this. And my target network is going to be this network, the 196 network. And I'm going to run this attack to disconnect all devices that's connected to this network. So if I come here, we have this Windows device. The Windows device is connected right here. And if we try to go to google.com, you'll see that we have internet connection. So we're going to run the same command that we used to do before. The only difference is this time we're not going to specify a client. We're not going to specify a target computer. We're only going to specify a target network. And I'm just going to right click this and copy the MAC address of my target network. And then I'm going to run airplay-ng like we did before. We're going to do deauth attack. And I'm going to specify the number of packets. So that's going to be a very large number like we used to do before. Then I'm going to specify the target network. And that's the MAC address of my access point. And usually I do -C and give the target client or the target computer. But in this case, in today's lecture, we want to target all computers. So we're not going to do that. And then I'm going to give it the wireless card that has monitor mode enabled on it, and it's mon0 in my case. So it's the exact same command that we used to do before. The only difference is we didn't specify a target computer, we didn't specify a -C argument. Now if I run this like this, I'm actually going to get an error, and you might even get that error with the normal attacks, so with the attacks where you were specifying a MAC address that we showed in previous lectures. But for me, it only shows this error now when I don't specify a target MAC address, but I'm going to show you how to fix it anyway. So I'm going to hit enter, and you'll see that airplay-ng will hang for a little bit, and then it's going to throw me an error saying that the BSSID is invalid. But clearly the BSSID is correct, and I used the right MAC address. The problem with this is the channel. So you can see that it's saying that my wireless card, that it's waiting for beacons on channel 7. And if we look at our target network, you'll see that it's running on channel 11. So to fix this issue, just run aircrack-ng against that specific network that you want to target. So I'm going to specify the BSSID. And I'm going to also specify the channel. And run aircrack-ng. So we actually seen how to do that with the targeted aircrack-ng command in previous lectures. So it's just aircrack-ng, we give it the BSSID, the MAC address of the target network, and then we give it the channel, which is the channel that the target network is running on. And my target network is right here running on channel 11, and this is its BSSID. So I'm going to hit enter. And this will just launch aircrack-ng normally for me. It will show me the connected clients here in the second part. But now, if I come back here and run this attack, the attack will actually work. And if I go here on the Windows machine that's connected to the 916 network, you'll see that it's going to get disconnected in a second. But now if I browse the internet, it's not going to work. And you'll see that I lost my internet connection here. And basically all devices that's connected to this UPC network, the 916, should have lost their connection by now, because we're targeting all the devices in the network because we didn't specify a -C in this command. So we only specified a -A. Now keep in mind that when you target a large number of clients, the effectiveness of the attack is reduced. So the less clients that you target, the more effective the attack is. With this particular example, the Windows machine didn't get disconnected for about 50 seconds and then it got disconnected. So keep this in mind, that the more clients that you target, the less effective the attack. Also keep in mind the issue that I faced in this lecture where airplay-ng said it couldn't find the BSS ID. If you do face that issue, then just run aerodump-ng before you run the attack, and make sure you run aerodump-ng using the ---- channel and the ---- BSS ID arguments against the same network that you're targeting. So that's it. So far we know how to disconnect one client, multiple clients, or all clients from any network around us, even if that network uses a password, and even if we don't know that password and if we're not connected to that network. As long as the network and the devices are within our range, we can control their connections and prevent them from connecting.